Stomping through the underground, we smell like diesel fuel and lemon balm. Oh, it's me and you and me. Well, don't you remember why we came anyway? Well, I'm trying to remember my own name, but we can keep it together, together for one more day. We can keep it together, together.
These cutest little frogs are everywhere. I find them every single day. I love them so much. Oh, okay. Yeah, I won't chase you. Anyway. If you follow my other channel, many of you know I had a pretty serious knee surgery not too long ago, 2 years ago. And I woke up the other day to a little swelling in my knee, so I took a couple days off. And when I say I took a couple days off, I mean I just salvaged materials instead of working here. And I had help doing it, so that was nice. So just a minute ago, I went to go take a sip of some tea that I had in a can, and it felt like I was swallowing glass. I tried to spit it out and it wouldn't come out, and it kept feeling like I was swallowing glass, so I shoved my finger down into my throat and puked up a bee. Now my throat is a little bit swollen in there, and I just popped 2 Benadryl, so I'm gonna definitely be drowsy, but it's not bleeding. That's the bee I puked up. He's still alive, barely. Listen, bro, you won the fight. You're a champion. That was horrible. You know, I think the real thing that turns me off to Abraham Hicks and makes me think that the whole thing is a bunch of malarkey is that I'm supposed to just assume that this ancient knowledge that is possessing Esther and her husband has not figured out how to use contractions. I mean, like, it just sounds ridiculous that it can't say can't. It says cannot every time. It sounds like English is its second language. I mean, don't get me wrong, maybe English is its second or third or 150th language if it's some... Because, I mean, really, if we're talking law of attraction here, you think it would be a lot more attractive not to sound like some kind of crappy Russian Data from Star Trek. I think that's why Infinite Waters is my favorite weed tuber, you know? I didn't measure where this goes yet. Here on this side I've done 16 on center, and then over there I did 24. The reason why I did 16 here is because I am hoping to be able to put a bathtub here, like a clawfoot tub, and that would obviously weigh a lot once it's full of water, so I was thinking the more support that it had, the better. Okay, well, I made a little mistake. You see, I did these on 2.5 foot centers, thinking that it would probably be fine because I got 2x10s that I'm putting over it and then hardwood, and that the span would be good. But I looked up some information and I did a little bit of math, and I didn't really like the way that the math came out. So I'm actually going to put one more joist in here. I'm going to take them all off. We're going to do 24-inch centers, which is up to code. Guys, I don't have the best wood. See this? I'm not so dumb that I don't see that as a problem. So here's what we're doing, because this is a pretty damn important part of the frame. We're going to be cutting boards on each side. We're going to be screwing them into that, just bracing it on both sides. Then we're going to stick stone underneath this metal plate, which I left on here from the original structure to support right where that is. I got another piece on this same board over there I need to do the same with, and I don't really like that corner without a little bracing either, so that's what I'm doing. It's not ideal, but this is what I have, you know, so that's what I'm making. Solar shower. Someone sent me a solar shower. Quick drive down the road to the local river. This is such a cute little spot. I haven't actually been here yet, and I'm gonna fill this up. So here we go. I know a lot of people have opinions on what's wrong with America, but I'm about to tell you what's wrong with America. Hello. Here's what's wrong with America for real. There was no fresh basil in the grocery store. How are we supposed to be anything? Greatest country. Happens a lot. The herb section is just so here in America. Trying to make a caprese over here. It's gonna have no basil now. That's not even a caprese. I don't even know what to call that. It's like it's just a tomato and cheese sandwich. Fine with that, I guess. That's what we're making. We got sandwich loaded up with some tomat. I don't say tomat in my real life. I don't know why I would say it now. Mozzarella. My favorite part about cooking shows is when you got this like super white person who enunciates everything like they're from California until they get to like mozzarella. It drives me crazy. Just call it mozzarella. We know what you're talking about. Like, as if every time you said resume, you donned a French accent. Like, it's just absurd. Like, you gonna do that every time? Anyway, rant over. We're still making this sandwich with my mozzarella and my tomato. My tomato was grown in Florida, so do Floridians really have an accent? Comment below in a Floridian accent. And I'm also going to stick some balsamic vinaigrette on this, and that's going to be it. That's going to be it, because that's all I could find. I couldn't find any fresh basil, which, like, you'd think at a grocery store of all places you could find fresh basil for like 30 cents for a bunch, right? Like, in my ideal grocery store, there's fresh cheese, fresh basil, fresh cilantro. Like, are we eating that little herbs? How do you make pesto in America? You just buy it at this grocery store. I know a lot of y'all are like, bro, my grocery store has basil, chill out. I know, but I've been into a few grocery stores here in New Hampshire that just didn't have basil. What are you gonna do, throw out onions next? Oh, anyway. I'm gonna eat this sandwich now, bye.